attractive young lady.
I'd like to ask you out on the hottest of dates.
I see that you have a lot of other gentlemen suitors. Allow me to make my case.
This guy plays football, but I once won the whole Super Bowl by myself. This guy is a weightlifter, but I can bench an entire continental shelf. That dude is a scientist, but I already cured all diseases last week. And if that's not enough, let me ask, when was the last time one of these things killed a motherfucking mythical beast? Oh yeah, I will rock your world, 'cause I'm a dragon slayer girl. I shall now expose my chest. Don't act like you're not impressed. How hot did I just seal the deal? With my dragon slayer steel, do you feel all my sexy appeal? And my story is so very totally real. I rode up to the mountaintop. It was 90,150,100 feet in the air, till I found the dragon's cave, and I fought through his army of awesome karate bears. The dragon's breath was a blast from hell, and we fought so hard I missed a long-standing opponent for brush. Then I swung my horse like a club, and it caused a sonic boom that ruptured space and then exploded the sun. Oh yeah, you are now one with both my dragon slayer nuts. I killed a demon with these hands. Did I say I'm also a fan? In case you might need more proof, I brought the dragon right to you. It's the one that I slew in the test, and my story is totally true. Dragon Dance. I am a dragon, not some guy dead at the bus station in a dragon suit. Girl, let's go back to my place. Nothing fancy, just a huge mansion in space. Can you guess what's coming next? Music is I'm talking about sex. This is the best day of your life. You'll be my dragon slayer wife. Alright, now it's time to decide which lucky one of us is gonna be alive tonight.
Oh, I see you've chosen the football player. And the scientist. And apparently the weightlifter as well. And the dragon. And Ninja Brian. And the Manticore, he wasn't even in this song.
Welcome everyone back to week 3 of the Rekt League. My name is Ratty Z, and I'm here with Sonic MNA and Floppy Dingus to give you some flavor to our delicious games today. How you guys feeling today?
Ooh, feeling mighty fine. It's a great Sunday to play some League.
Absolutely. Sonic, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty spicy.
Feeling spicy. I like to hear that. So to fill you guys all in on what's going on, the matches today that we're showing this week are Air Drake versus Blue Sentinel at 4 p.m., Ocean Drake versus Mountain Drake at 6 p.m., and Red Brambleback versus Air Drake at 8 p.m. So we're playing today's games on patch 8.4, which has brought a torrent of new changes to the league. Dingus, why don't you tell us what the biggest changes that you anticipate coming out of patch 8.4?
So I would say the biggest, especially for our league and our kind of elo, generally speaking, we're going to see the change where the tracker's knife will be removed. This will remove a lot of the general vision that the teams are getting, so it'll definitely impact the setting up of objectives and figuring out where to gank, things like that. I would expect a more heavy reliance on the Ghost Poro and the Zombie Wards to maintain the vision, but we'll see what these teams want to do.
That's true. That'll be really interesting to see. Sonic, what about you? What do you think
Yeah,
is going to be the biggest about this?
I think we're really going to be having an eye on those vision scores and calling out some teams that don't like to see very much. And I think the additional switch up in the jungle with the blast cone changes. Now the blast cones, which lets you jump into the opponent's lane, are spawning at 5 minutes instead of about 2.5. So it's really going to shift the early ganks there.
Gotcha. I agree with that. And those blast cones, they were super annoying for the top and the bottom lanes. Just junglers just showing up out of nowhere and jumping into lanes. For me, I'm looking forward to see those new ability power items that are added and to see which of them are going to show up in the builds of our players today. Are there any of the items that you guys are anticipating seeing, that you want to see, that you're expecting to come out and just smash some faces?
Well, I'm interested in seeing the Twin Shadow Spooky Ghost coming back since we've sorely missed their presence.
Hell yeah,
I'm
love the
interested
Spooky
to see what type of influence it has. I really like to see those ghosts running around.
I do like that Spooky Ghost was added to the flavor text of that as well. So they are, in fact, officially spooky ghosts that come out from the active.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Sorry. So another one that I want to see, they changed the lost chapters. So instead of that mana regen, we're also going to have a 10% cooldown. So cool build pass for it. A lot of stuff will be changing. So I want to see if people are playing like heavy mana usage champions, what they want to build, if they're just going to do the same thing. It's going to be interesting to see.
Agreed. Okay.
We already have some hype talk in the chat. Guess the watchers say they won't get blown over by the air drake. We'll see how true that is.
People are definitely talking some smack, and that's one of the best things about the league that we have going on here, is that there is no shortage of smack talk going on. If you pretty soon we're gonna start hopefully throwing it up on some Twitter so you can see the videos that people are posting, some of the memes that people are posting, and the different pictures that they create, and I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I'm looking forward to is they have buffed a lot of champions that have been having a lot of problems, and for me, I'm really hoping we see some Volibear action. What do you think? What do you think, Sonic? Do you think any words for the new bear coming out?
Oh, it's I just can barely contain myself. And
It's true. We've barely seen him in pro play, in any play whatsoever.
now,
and
I
he's
just want to
Unintended.
pause you right there. And I've been playing some normal matches and or some ranked games, and just about every game the bear's coming up. People are just charging forward. They just are real hype for these changes. I think there's going to be some real big influence here on the map and in these games.
That's true, and he's really clawed his way back into our hearts.
I used to dabble with the Volibear on support back in the day. I wonder if anyone's going to try busting that out sometime soon.
I hope so. I think he's worth a pick, and potentially in our league it could be really good here. So, other than that, we're almost done getting ready for the setup. I think the teams are starting to feel pretty good about it. It's almost ready to go. So at this point in time, we're gonna have to start thinking about what picks are we gonna see picked and banned between each team. And we know we have some of the more highly ranked players on each of the teams and the key positions that they were in last year. So are we anticipating seeing any bans coming out in the first couple rounds of this?
Well, I'm thinking that the Sentinels are definitely going to have to respect this ADC Graves coming out with Isakli.
Yeah, that's something we've been hearing a little bit of rumbles about, but we're not sure if he's gonna bust it out, if he brought it up as like a let's psych him out, make him think I'm gonna pick that and switch to some other champions. It's always the fun mind games we get to see for the teams coming out, and just the pure trash talk coming in between these rounds. Can't wait to see what it's gonna look on here.
Also, Keckrator has been playing a lot of that Taric, so I think definitely in the last games we saw some big influence there with some
That's
Taric
true.
gameplay.
So one of my questions is, one of the buffs that were given in patch 8.4 was to Rengar. And for those of you who've been watching a lot of pro streams and high elo streams, we know that that champion has the ability to absolutely explode most of the champions on the Rift. So do you think we're going to see any of that today? And if so, who's going to pick it up?
I would love to see it, honestly. I know I'm with Dingus is a lot more of a role player for his team, so I would expect him to be picking more of like the tanks or someone who could set up these team fights. Will Shadow of Old bust it out? I mean, who knows? He's a talented player, so he could definitely do it. I really want to see what they want to do there.
And I haven't. And looking at these.
All right, we're transitioning over into the champ select now. So let's see what we're gonna start to find out. Let's see what these bans are gonna be. So for those of you watching, if those of you who are not familiar with League of Legends, we know some of you are out there. There's 3 phases or 3 champions that are banned on each team, followed by a round of 3 people picking a champion on each side, followed by a round of 2 more bans, and then finally rounding out the compositions. So the first ban coming out.
Ooh, the targeted ban.
Oh, takes him out. Which, as we know, when we looking at I'm with Dingus from last season, he was operated very well in that Shen. This is a respect ban to what he can do with the top lane, and I think it's a good choice to start with.
Honestly, if you're Air Drake too, you're happy with that. I mean, you're talking about one of your weakest players getting a personalized ban, so that opens up a lot more for the other players on the team. And he has been practicing plenty of other champions too.
So I'm glad to hear that. That's going to be really good to see. We got the Yordle Tristana banned out for Darth Ted on the Sentinels team, which is fine because Tristana is historically very safe.
Oh yeah, definitely. A very safe hyper carry can really turn the fights, and such high mobility, especially when you're getting the assists or kills on these champions.
Absolutely. We saw Twisted Fate taken out. Now, we haven't seen too much of Twisted Fate yet in the league, but he can definitely be a champion that, with 5 people communicating well, he just shows up into lanes with his teleport ability and just can cause a lot of problems. So definitely taken off.
Getting a lot of respect to the ADC here. We got another.
Yeah, it will be. The bot lane's gonna pop off, I think. So they probably want to make sure that they're getting their comfort picks in. I think.
Smell fear.
The Shyvana for the final ban going at Hot Soups, or call them Hot Soup 5, either one. We'll call them Hot Soups. I think multiple soups sound delicious. So
you too will be judged.
And the Morgana banning away from either Rovian or Grimjow.
All bot lane bans.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh please!
The hovering. I think they're trolling us.
He's trolling with a lot of the choices. All these choices are all things I want to see. Yes, please. This is my
oh
favorite.
Man.
Oh,
okay.
The
Whoa.
Okay.
The Tarek, guaranteed.
So
that being a mind game.
The question is, with the Tarek pick, is it gonna end up being the Tarek top lane, or is it gonna be the Tarek support? I've seen both before, so we'll see which of the spiciness.
I don't think the league is ready for a Tarek top.
It was a big thing at the beginning of the season, but hopefully it's died off. Oh my God! The
Are they gonna pick this up? Are they just trolling us? Yeah, they're trolling.
Oh, thank goodness. Timo, that little rat is be put back on the bench. Sit back down. Go back to your
No devils in this game.
Maokai Bard, very good. So we got that tanky, potentially top laner here, and we have that playmaker support going to come in and make some invulnerability plays, hopefully roaming around the map. We'll see how it goes here. What do you guys think of the first 2 picks that we have going on for Team Air Drake?
I like it. I mean, I played Bard last week in our game. Really good for setting up some team fights. He roams all the time, and he can help you get vision all over the map. He's just flying around with his little meeps, causing up a whole ruckus.
Yeah, and Kekrider definitely has a lot of familiarity with Bard, so I think that's definitely a comfort pick for him. We got this long hover on a Garen, though. Let's talk about that for a second. Oh,
Free the Garen.
Oh.
I think that was some fan service there.
Just showing up, making people feel good about that, I think.
It was a very safe ADC pick, trying to make sure they have high mobility to get rid of kind of the locks and stuns that the team's going to be throwing at them.
Yeah, so a little squishy on the Sentinel side. It'll be interesting to see what the bans will be for Air. They do still maybe have to pick that top lane, so they'll probably want to eliminate some tanks.
Okay.
And the Rammus locked in. So we're assuming that's going to be the jungler at this point in time. So we can roll around the map, turn into that Sonic-looking ball, which I think, is an homage to our amazing caster right here.
It was the best choice you could make.
Absolutely. So now we're thinking about the bans, and what are we looking for here? All right, so they're looking to take away some top laners.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was
Then
Sentinel, I'd
on,
be banning 80 carries. They already have theirs. Again, bot lane's super important in this matchup. If you're air, I would be saying ban the tanks. You don't want a heavy tank that can carry like Irelia, something like that.
Okay. Malzahar is an interesting ban. I think that it definitely works very well with the Rammus, getting to roll in or lock in and get that extra long hold.
Agreed. That's going to be interesting. And the other thing about Malzahar is he's been a terror in our league for the past season. Everything he's done is involved. All right, so we're looking at the final bans. They take away the Diana, which is a snowball lead champion that generally goes in the mid lane that could cause a lot of problems. I wonder if Rovian has been playing that, practicing it up, making Shoemaker quiver in his shoes.
Impure fools.
He'll need to make some new ones after he shakes out of them.
There we go.
All right, so we got the final ban, the respect ban towards Icically, which is the Vayne ban.
Oh, does this mean that we're going to be... Does that mean Graves is coming out?
It's possible. We'll see.
Are they doing it?
He's been talking to Mean Graves game, and we don't know if it's going to be coming out, but it might just...
Oh,
there
no.
it is. Okay.
Ooh, the Ash pick.
Nice safe engage.
Wow, a whole lot of CC. They can set up a fight with anyone on their team right now.
They definitely have an engage count.
I think we have another Frey the Garen over here.
Just every person has been showing the Garen off. Just to...
Too soon, guys. Too soon.
Give some credit.
I'm losing it here.
That's somewhere Tom Nom Nom's just like, yes, pick it, you fools. All right, we
Locking
got
in
the
the
Ahri for
Ahri.
the mid lane. I like that pick. I think it's going to be a safe pick for all this engage that they have. Has a lot of mobility to evade a lot of the potential ganks that ever seem coming out.
Oh, come on,
Definitely.
guys.
Definitely,
Come on.
early game we can definitely get that roam in, or even mid game that get that roam with the other
So,
lanes.
The
Camille.
top lane, Camille, which is an excellent pick right now in the meta. She is she plays this strange role where she's a bruiser, but she's also a great roaming tool. She can gank well for the mid lane. She can fight in the jungle. She has a lot of utility. It could really cause problems for somebody like an Ashe, who's if she's ever caught out by herself, just done.
Yeah, Sentinel kind of put themselves in quite a tight spot for team fights too. I mean, they're going to be very heavily reliant on that Taric ult to survive through this with all those squishy champs. So, I mean, we'll see how this goes. I'm definitely interested right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be this is a very good draft. I like both teams. Tell me a little bit about what do you think about the Air team, Sonic? What do you think about Team Air's looking so far?
So they definitely have several ways to engage here. I mean, we've got the Bard ult, we've got the Rammus rolling in, we've got the Ashe arrow. Maokai, he kind of keeps people there once they've started, but they're definitely going to be able to just hit that B button if he starts the ult for the engage.
The common Maokai strategy, when he uses his ultimate ability, this line of vines come at you, and then you can just, go back to your base, walk slowly, no worries. But he gets you in the wrong spots, though. You're done.
What type of engage do you think Sentinel has here?
Well, looking at the Sentinel team, there's a lot of
Can you
pick
throw up that
potential.
splash?
Whole
for
lot
the
of pick
whole time?
potential.
For sure. We got a lot of pick potential going up here. Camille's can come in, Kha'Zix can come in, Ahri can get a pick, Ezreal and Taric can just appear out of nowhere over walls and stuff with the Taric stun going off and just damage. They have a lot of ability to catch somebody in the wrong position. Maybe Bard's wandering around picking up his little meeps. Then he gets grabbed by a stun. He gets grabbed by a charm. So this is going to be a very interesting way these teams want to fight. I feel like Air is going to want to slowly, decide when they all want to engage and go in and fight as one. And Blue Sentinel, is going to want to jump in and pick off those stragglers around the outside.
And I'd like to just point out the Air team is really stepping their game up with their photos here. They definitely, everyone's got one submitted. We're gonna
A lot of facial hair on that team.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I think it's team block the air because the facial hair prevents it from flowing through gracefully, through their face.
Beautifully put.
Agreed. I appreciate that. It just looks at them. I just feel like that facial hair might step up their game. It's an uphill battle for the Blue Sentinels right now, but that's the thing. We can't tell if you have facial hair unless you send in those pictures. So hopefully for week 4, we'll have all of those beautiful mugs put right up on our screen
Yeah,
for everyone to enjoy.
don't forget, guys. There are plenty of ladies watching these games.
Yeah, exactly. Because if there's one place to find, a romantic interest, it's while playing League of Legends on the TheRektLeague.
I'm sorry, I had to mute myself. I was laughing so hard.
Anyway, so going back to the game, some of the things I'm anticipating is in the top lane, Maokai does have a uphill battle for himself against the Camille. Specifically, that Camille has a true damage attack, which is the second half of her Q ability, which is going to be something that can really cause a lot of problems for tanks.
Also, that passive shield that comes up based on the type of damage that's coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think Corki versus Ari is a fairly... I'm not too certain about that matchup, but it seems like it's a fairly good matchup. They're both taking cleanse for the amount of CC both teams has, which is pretty smart.
Yeah.
Ezreal
I
being
wanted
safe.
to kind of look closer at Sentinel's kind of game plan here. They're going to be able to have that Camille split pushing the entire game. I am really curious to see how Airjake will be able to respond to that. I mean, they have the Maokai. He can clear waves. Is he as effective? No, certainly not. And he does not have the mobility that Camille has. So I really want to see how that one plays out for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think that'll be very interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for playmaking for both teams here. We'll just have to see who gets that good level 1, who gets that early game attack off, and to see if we have any missteps in the beginning of the game to give a team a clear advantage.
And here we're loading up.
Yep, my console is currently loading up. We'll get that going in just a second. I'll just leave it on the spectator mode here. It's currently, we can look at the...
Also, I'm noticing the teams aren't really coordinating with their icons. That's a little rough. Maybe their communication isn't as strong. We'll see how it goes. I'm really interested to see how this early game goes. See if there's any contests for early vision, or if they're just gonna kind of do the default solo queue invade, mindlessly walking into the bush.
Yeah, I'm not sure in this case. The level 1s aren't that powerful right now. I don't foresee anyone taking, other than Camille, who generally takes her hook shot, I guess, at level 1.
Yeah, they don't really have any strong level 1 presence. You're right.
They do have the Bard with Ignite, so that's pretty much the biggest thing they got going for him.
Something to note is Corki here is starting with a cull. That is a very, very confident maneuver there.
So right now we're just looking at where the combat's gonna end up being. Here it comes. Oh, they see the invade coming off, and they put the ward right in the bush to prevent any sort of level 1 shenanigans.
Okay.
This might be the first game where somebody doesn't die before a minute.
Yeah. In a situation where the entire team is spotted out, kind of making that early invade presence, I'd really like to see top lane get a deep ward. They definitely have the kind of the luxury of wandering safely if they see a full team show up.
And you see they have a nice spread across the battlefield here.
Yeah, it looks like right now we just kind of moved into the default. Hey, this is where everyone's going to go. There's no contesting for vision. There's no keeping an eye. Oh, Camille's kind of moving up there.
Just making sure that no one gets to have any kind of fun walking into our lane at some kind of goofy level 2 or something like that. We'll have to see. But it looks like a pretty standard start for both teams, which is a refreshing change from some of our previous games where we've had some issues with early game deaths.
And Darth Ted's still rocking the Infernal tag from last season.
He's feeling it. Sometimes some things you just never let go, and I guess it's an eternal flame that burns in his heart.
Well said. Well said.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting some early game trades as per usual. Kind of expect a little bit of fireworks going on.
Unstream really far ahead in clearing the jungle right now. Ram has just finished the blue buff.
Yeah, he is definitely moving quickly through this. bit of fights going on. So you have some abilities clearing some waves. Other than that, nothing too crazy going on. No one's going for any early game trades that are outside of the normal. We see some standard level 2 timings, level 1 timings. Shadow of Old does get a little ahead of Dingus as far as getting that level 2, so he's able to put on some extra harass. But otherwise,
He's
pretty
pushed
standard.
up really far right now. I mean, there's risk for a Rammus invade, but it doesn't seem like he's doing a quick rush to get up there right now.
So we're going to have to see what the Kha'Zix does here. He does walk right over a ward in the mid lane, which he's immediately pointed out, and kind of walks back. Standard poke going on in the bottom lane. Seen that classic kind of Ezreal poke going on right now. And nothing too crazy going on for the mid lane here. They're just kind of trading farm. Both trading pretty well.
And we're looking, ooh, that double stun. Oh, this might be first blood. Oh, we get the flash. Ooh,
Oh, first blood.
so
going
close to that
bot lane.
heal right there. That would have really turned the tides.
Grimjow with the let's go. Going to try to do some extra farm. He's giving himself some free poke for Icically. I think he's going to take that and feel okay about it. Darth Ted stepping up just slightly too far.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of a misstep on the air drake there when they grouped together and allowed that Taric stun to just hold them both in place and do some nasty damage.
Yeah, unfortunately on the stream we just missed the double stun, but we did see the first blood go in with the follow though. It did look juicy though. Oh, going in again, gets the single stun onto Ashe, putting the extra damage out there, making so that the trades can't be as beneficial. Also in the top lane, it looks like we had the Kha'Zix for safety sitting in the top lane, and we also had the...
Yeah, Hot Soup had to back. He couldn't get that red buff.
Although it's possible, he was have to walk over a ward, so I don't think Shadow of Old is in any danger.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get in a tussle here, he's gonna be fine. But if Maokai gets a hold on him even for a second here, it's gonna be rough times.
Other than that, we see the Kha'Zix going through his jungle, taking his camps accordingly. See some good trading going on in the top lanes. Dingus holding his own versus this Camille.
Yeah, I mean,
in farm as well, doing a good job.
I like to think that the Dingus brothers do a great job in coaching each other. So
I like that. Well, that seems to be you guys have a great thing going on there. If that's the case.
Oh, we're getting.
I mean,
okay,
we
getting some
got-
good harass here.
we got Calvi in golds, we got Dingus in bronze, and we do play together all the time.
Oh, Rammus is looking to make a play here.
Oh, here we go. Will they get it?
In.
This might be a little rough.
Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good.
Oh yeah, they got out of there with
Gets
the.
out with a
Ooh,
sliver of health.
I was trying to take a look at how much health was left.
37 is what it looks like when he was recalling,
Ooh.
so he got off very close.
That must be. If anything's gonna tilt the top laner, that might be it.
The heartbreaking nature of here, but we're seeing the standard. He's teleported back in, but the bot lane here, there's a little trades going in. Ashe is putting some extra damage on this Ezreal.
The
pretty close.
healing from these supports is really clutch here.
We're definitely seeing a little bit of invades going on from the
Oh,
Kha'Zix.
oh, this might be a. Oh, that was rough.
Ooh, extra damage.
The auto attack went into a minion instead of the
Kha'Zix.
champion.
Kha'Zix coming in, going for the Bard. Gets that
Oh.
kill, gets the reset. Does
Are
he
they
go
gonna
for
get
it?
double?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, Darth Ted
There's a double.
secures it with the Mystic Shot from our boy Ezreal. That sparkly jewel in his hand, sending off that lightning there to finish the job. The light from his time traveling.
It looks like all the summoners. Well, there's still the flash on the support for the Sentinels, so that might come into play a little here for another.
He's just saving it for Murderville Part 2. He's just waiting for the next double stun to come up and to get some more damage in. So we'll have to see if that pans out into the death that we're expecting. Definitely get some trades top. Get some more fights that are kind of roaming through the rivers as well.
yeah.
We're going to
It's
make some
only
plays, but then they back off.
6.5 minutes in, we already have a 2K gold lead for Sentinel. Like, we need to see someone else step up and push their lane and get some kills or something.
That's true. Top lane's starting to be a little more disparity right now. There is better farm coming out from Camille at the moment, but not too terribly.
I'm liking the deep vision that Blue Sentinel is getting in. They right now they have a really good vision of the Rammus, can see what's going on when they're taking the buffs, kind of influence the jungle a little more.
That's true. There's a little vision for the red side as well. They can definitely see the same vision that Blue Sentinels does. So hopefully that there's all the plays that will go in will be a little less. But the top laner's going in right now. Definitely busted out the ultimate. Hextech ultimatum. And moved back.
Wow.
Hits by the vines and walks away.
It's a good escape there.
That was well played by Dingus. He did not allow that Camille to really get that extra damage off to swing the tides of that lane. Because once Camille starts to get some kills, it is not going to be pretty. But other than that, Hot Soup is walking through looks like he's walking through a lane. If possible, we see some more ganks, but he's going to walk over a ward, which is just going to relieve all the bot laners. They don't have to worry too much about what's happening from the jungler. They know exactly where it is. Dingus walking back in the lane with the teleport. Gets hit, does a decent trade with the Camille, so that way it's not just for free. And other than
I think that was more positive for Dingus there than it was for Shadow of Old.
Agreed. I think he's going to go back. That might have been some buy timings for him. He does have 800 gold to spend. But perhaps not.
Gotta be a long one back top.
True. Rovian and Shoemaker both staying fairly even in the mid lane. Their farm is pretty on par. Rovian just up by 2, which is negligible at this point in time. And the main thing is going to be this bot lane, because we know that we had some time to do some kills, although all flashes seem to be up. So summoners are here, so we shouldn't see any kills unless anything specifically impressive happens to the bot lane.
And something to know, we see the Dark Head going in aggressively with that Mystic, that jump.
One thing
There's such a high cooldown on there. Oh.
Top laner, Dingus getting ganked by Unstream and Shadow of Old. It looks like the kill's going to be coming in due to the Kha'Zix showing up and the Camille getting the kill. Moving back down, it looks like the Rammus almost getting caught out in the river by some good play by the Grimjaw. He's looking to get those stuns off, and Darth Head's following up nicely.
Waiting at the red buff. I think he's just going to take it and go because Rammus isn't even showing up.
It looks like he was waiting there, looking around for him. He's pathing through the jungle looking for a kill. Puts the ward in and moves on.
A lot of confidence from this bottom lane.
Trades coming in the bot lane. Kekarator getting poked out.
If you're Air Drake right now, you want to just slow this game down as much as possible. Their strength is going to be in the team fight, like I said, so their laning phase shouldn't go that smoothly. They are far behind, but once they get stronger, they can group up and really force some objectives.
There's a lot of poking going on the bottom lane here. I'm looking to see a little bit of fighting going on the top
There's
side.
a fight going with Ari and
Corky getting caught out. Let's see if he gets hit with the extra damage.
Ooh.
Gets away. Tower shots taken by Rovian. Wow. That was heartbreaking. Very close again for that Corky.
Ash Arrow going top.
Oh, nails
it. It may have been intended for mid, but
it makes the Camille thing twice with that Ash Arrow. Just if that was a zoning Ash Arrow, it was one of those that made you think, what are you doing with your life? Just getting into his mind a little bit. Basically farming one of the towers as best he can. Down a little bit of farm, but that's to be expected versus that Ezreal lane.
Darth Head really forcing that lane, just crashing into bot turret over and over.
Oh, they were going for the tower dive there, but Icically dodges it. Here comes the
You
Terragon.
got tower aggro.
Oh boy, here we go.
We'll see. Oh, and Kha'Zix comes in to secure the kill, secure the double kill. Blue Sentinels are playing this game very well. Oh, but the minions.
And that was not an assassin.
The minions were like, "How dare you do that to our champions?" And smites them down for the first kill on the Air Dragons.
I was wondering if that was going to end up as an execute, but it looks like the timer worked in their favor.
If you're Air Drake, you should be considering getting that Ocean Drake with everyone resetting on the jungler down, but it looks like they're just going to resume the routine.
Ooh, interesting. We have the Proto Belt on the Ahri. Now that's something I haven't seen before, but I'm not a mid lane player, so that could be just a standard build for her, but very interesting and a nice way for her to clear some extra waves and get some extra mobility for those charms unexpectedly. So that we're getting some good vision on the blue side here. They're going deep into the red team's jungle. Blue Sentinel really getting the vision on air. They're, as their name would say, They're watching you. The Sentinels, they know what's going on. You can't put anything by them. They got vision everywhere.
Yeah, their vision scores are definitely looking a lot better here.
Absolutely. But we have a little bit of rotation here. Air Drake's moving towards the mid lane, but they are spotted out by that vision we were just talking about, which is possible that we could see a little bit of collapse here by Team Sentinel. Ezreal and Kha'Zix coming in for potentially for the bottom, although they are keeping well together. There's some potential action going in here in the mid lane. Rovian walking a little too far, misses the charm. Just takes a little bit of poke and walks away. In the top lane here, we're getting a little bit of poke back and forth. They're trading it up, just kind of like the tank situation that you normally see in the top lane with the tank. You know, they're trying to equalize the lane a little bit. He's only down by 11 farm, which isn't that much for this point in the game. But however, the lanes are in such a position that we might be seeing another gank on bot lane, which Icically scouts out with his hawk shot. As he sees him right there, yeah, they're prepared for it this time. They were looking to get that counter gank going in just from the lane team here.
Oh, that charm.
Lands a charm on Corki, but he quickly cleanses it and moves away. That was a good play from Air Drake. I think they potentially avoided a disaster with that bottom lane. They're bringing 4 down bottom.
Bot. Oh.
Unfortunately, the Ashe arrow did miss, and we're going in with the TheRekt again, taking those tower hits, trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. But Icically dueling Darth's head. Hopefully they can get this. Oh, the flash comes out. The flash comes out from the Bard.
I don't know if it was worth a flash there. But
that was not great.
Prolonged.
The TheRekt, however, is getting killed out by that Rammus. Excellent. Oh my goodness, and I just missed the... There's just kills going everywhere. Although I think the tower took that one. The Ahri kills. Just, wow. This is a lot of action going on the bottom lane. They're really looking to shut down the Air Drake team.
Yeah, you kind of want to see that Maokai TP bot if they're that compromised. I know he's holding down the lane because Camille's just relentlessly pushing. That's kind of exactly what I was saying with that matchup. Like, how will they react to this Camille's split pushing? Will they be able to hold their own, or are they just going to let themselves get crashed into over and over?
That's true. The hard part is as well, he had to use a lot of mana to try to keep the wave pushed up, and that's Maokai comes teleports into your lane with half health and no manas. Not exactly the most ferocious sight we've ever seen.
The Camille's been playing very aggressive and taking unfavorable trades, but definitely is managing the mana pool much better, which makes it a positive in some ways.
So bot lane going back to collect their farm. We have, it looks like the Corki has come to the top side here, potentially in the lane gank. Not in vision yet, just spotted out by the ward in the top side of the jungle. Although the Corki now is going to be caught by the Kha'Zix. He Valkyries away, although gets caught by the charm. This is possible. He might be dead here. Oh, the fancy feet over the lane. Oh, the final charge going in. Rovian still gets it with tenaciousness. The fighting is still going on in the top lane here. Dingus looking to secure the kill on Shadow of Old. A lot of good moves, but ultimately could not 1v2.
Oh, bot lane's getting some action too. Jump down there.
Oh my goodness. Kekerator hot soup going in on Sentinels. Darth's head was taken out. And it looks like that double stun could have saved him, but with enough Rammus rolling in there, he's going to get that taunt off, which is going to seal the deal on the TheRekt. That was truly, truly outrageous. Back to the top lane. Looks like Shadow of Old finally pushed Maokai out of the lane here. So after that kill from the 1v2, it looks like they're taking this tower, which is going to end up being the first tower going down.
I would like to see them, if they're going to lose the tower, to at least get the Drake. But it doesn't look like they're prioritizing that right now.
And Ashe is running down mid lane, so not sure what their game plan is right now with that.
It looks like they're trying to secure some vision of the Drake here, and it looks like Blue just, with the blue trinket, was able to put that long-range vision into the Dragon Pit to know that whenever they're going to start it, they'll have an idea of exactly when this is going to happen. They can collapse accordingly. This is starting to look difficult, though. They are up by about 5,000 gold, is what it looks like right now, Blue Sentinels. And the Camille just finished that Trinity Force, which really bodes poorly for that top lane, because that true damage does get amplified by Trinity Force's proc. So it's going to be quite the beating.
Yeah, 1,500 gold difference between the Camille and Maokai. So we'll see how they play that one out.
Yeah, it's almost a full item at this point in time. Maokai looking to secure this vision around the Rift Herald. And otherwise, we're seeing some position and some vision being fought over for the bot lane. That bot tower is looking really low on the red side, and I would not be surprised to see the Blue Sentinels group together and push that tower down for some extra gold. Although the Ash Arrow goes out, followed immediately by the titanic ultimate, Bard did not hit his...
We got a scalp of top. It looks like Maokai might be going down here.
And Maokai was unfortunately going down. There's a lot of bottom going on at the same time here. And Blue taken out, and the Maokai was killed by Shadow of Old. We get to see a little bit of the follow-up there, but the fighting is still not over on the bot side. Bard gets taken out by Kha'Zix jumping in and doing the execution. Robian going with the charm, misses the charm, so Icicle can walk away, but sitting there with low life and a low tower, it's looking very difficult for him.
Oh, just sneaks away.
And the Camille just unchallenged in the top lane, and this is the hard part. Camille can do a lot of things in this point in time. If she's a confident top laner, she can push those towers over, keep going. At some point in time, they're going to have to deal with that top lane. Darth Ted says, you know what? I'm just going to go in. I'm going to take this bottom tower by myself. Everyone's gone. You know, they're on vacation. You know, let's move on. Just take it.
I'd really like to see the Sentinels take the Rift Herald and maybe crack that base turret.
So here's what I'm talking about here. It looks like this Camille was waiting in the wings to try to put some effort in the mid lane. And the mid lane tower also looking real low. So again, would not be surprised. It looks like the Blue Sentinels are grouping up to take down this mid tower. They did spot out the Camille waiting in the wings, so she cannot just jump on a target, most likely being that Ashe. To jump on with the Hextech Ultimatum to do extra damage, put that circle around her so she can't leave until one of them are dead, or a couple seconds pass by. But on that, I'm with Dingus pushing that top lane back up. He's in a little bit of a dangerous situation right now because he's pushed up really far, and this Camille is going to jump on him right now and potentially do a lot of damage with that Trinity Force all finished up. Other than that, the blue team has slain the Ocean Dragon and is being set up for the Infernal Dragon coming next, which is going to be a big deal. And if Blue Sentinel takes that Infernal Dragon, it's going to be really hard for Team Airdrake to come back from that amount of damaging. So what do you think? What do you think Team Airdragon has to do to come back in this game, guys?
So usually when this happens, I always say the best bet: set up your vision where you can. They're gonna play aggressive, like that's how you close out the game. If you're
We got quite a scuffle going on here.
yeah.
On the top,
All
we
these
got a
ultimates
TP
are going
coming in
out.
from the Maokai. Kha'Zix trying to get out. The Taric is just dead to rights at this point in time. Ooh, I'm not sure if he meant to do that.
Oh.
The stopwatch there, which put him in place to be picked off by the rest of the team. And
That was
this,
Bartle.
here comes the insanely slow. Oh, did it catch him? It does not catch him.
Oh,
The Vines
goodness.
almost caught that Ezreal. But
Look
this
at that
Rammus will
poke
not
there.
be denied. He says, you know what, Ezreal, you've been shifting around the map so much. It's time for you to go to sleep. And he puts him to bed, covers all
going
on
up onto
him,
this
fluffs his
Corki.
pillows. He's done.
But yeah, so almost on cue. I mean, that's exactly what Airdrake wants. They want to get those picks. They want to catch the Blue Sentinels out of position in their own jungle playing too aggressive.
That's exactly right. And that's just what we saw right there. Picked up a few kills, bringing the gold lead only down to about 7,000 now, which is still sizable enough to be difficult. If you can see to the bottom middle of the screen, the current gold values. We're starting to get 2,300 up for the top laner. We're looking at about 1,000 gold lead for the jungle. We're looking at about a 1,200 gold lead for the mid laner. Looking at almost a 2,500 gold lead for the ADCs, which is, I think, going to be the most damaging because Ezreal getting that early lead with ADCs, he's going to be able to poke and be relevant for a long time.
Oh, dang, it's almost going down.
The Rammus prevents the hook shot from going off. Shadow of Old will not be denied that
Oh,
kill.
wow. He gets it
Wow,
anyways.
no help.
He just muscled through that one. He's been going to the gym. He's looking swole right now.
Definitely wanted to make that not for nothing.
Absolutely. Shadow of Old looks like Shadow of Swolder. Swodo of Old. Anyway, he's looking beefy right now. The Bard's getting caught out in the jungle right now. It looks like the Kha'Zix snuck in and do some extra damage. Bard goes down from the Ahri. Shoemaker
There's
goes,
the
takes out
Ash
the...
Arrow.
Oh, the Ash Arrow comes out and catches the Auri, but she ults it away and is in safety right now. Ooh, Darth Ted arcane shifts forward. That might cost him his life there. Shoemaker picks it up with the Corki Ragas. Not let him go. That Taric is dead to rights, and Corki's going to chase down this Auri.
Definitely overstay here.
Oh, the charm hits on the Corki. It looks like
it's not gonna be-
Shadow Volt's
it's
going
not
to
gonna be
skill
good.
on the Corki. Yes, he does.
You're getting a little bit of chasing going on with these teams. It feels real good when you're in that tunnel, but as soon as the lights come on, it can be a little silly.
Yeah, that train smashes right in the face, and that train's called the 5-1 Camille with 200 farm at 22 minutes. Feeling pretty good. Taking down these towers very quickly. Ooh, the Maokai goes in for the long distance W. Hits him with the slow-mo ultimate, although there's not enough follow-up at the moment, but it looks like he might be keeping the Camille there. Caught. Wow, that was a perfect execution of the Maokai's twisted advance. Picked up the Camille in the middle of the hook shot, so she was not able to complete her wall.
Was not able to get the
there.
escape there. Definitely was one of the longest chases I've seen with the Maokai.
Somebody has
That
to
was
check
kind of
that 3D gear because she will not be in the next Attack on Titan. Not with the wall working on like that. So other than that, we're looking at a little bit more vision game going back and forth. These wards are being placed in a position so they can get some more information to make the plays in each direction. So hopefully we see a little bit of fighting for if they want to start making this Baron play. And the Bard again is going to be caught out by this Kha'Zix who sees him with some vision and goes for the fight, but not quite enough burst to kill him 100-0 in one combo.
Right now we're seeing almost double the vision score from the Sentinels how we do the Air Drake.
Yeah, you want to see. I mean, I know they got rid of that Tracker's Knife, but you want to see the sweep on the Rammus. They got to get control of their jungle right now.
That is true. Other than that, it's looking like the top wave and the bottom wave are both pushing towards the Blue Sentinels, so they're going to have to eventually send someone over there to deal with it. Although they did just use the Ezreal ultimate, the True Shot Barrage, in order to thin out that minion wave, so they are not going to have to walk and take care of it themselves. Other than that, we have some fighting for the top jungle vision going on right now. And I wonder, what's Blue Sentinel's next fight? What are they going to take? We have the Dragon coming up in 50 seconds, and we have a Baron currently up right now. What do you think we're going to see?
They have complete control over the Baron, it seems like. So I would imagine they're going to want to split push with the Camille, keep control of that, and then slowly work their way towards Baron and clear out as much as they can. They can go for the Dragon. That's totally they are totally in control right now, so it's up to them.
I'm thinking getting a play on the Dragon will definitely be safer. It'll go down a lot faster, and it's a lot harder for them to answer to that. I think they'd be less inclined to make a risk doing the Dragon than they would the Baron, where you might just turn it into a 50-50.
Shadow Volt stealing the blue buff away from Team Air Drake, which is going to serve him well, having that mana replenishment. It looks like they're looking to see if that Dragon is going to be what they're going for next, and both teams are moving towards it, so we might have a fight here.
I'm wanting to see what Kekerator does to initiate this, because he definitely can grab a good number of these.
And with this vision control, that Ezreal can literally just poke away the whole time.
I also have the
rolling
Corki
in.
package here.
They're going in. The Corki package comes in. Rammus is going in, taunting everyone up. The Taric ult comes out, but not in time for them to lose the Bard. Corki taking down the Kha'Zix, the Hextech ultimate coming in for Shadow Bolt. He's looking to clean up this fight, but he does not have the tankiness to survive. Ezreal is going in, takes the snipe out there, but Icically gets the kill with the Ash ult. Wow, the ace for Team Air Drake somehow
Amazing.
coming
Wow.
back, taking
And
the
that was-
Infernal Dragon.
Maokai still has the TP up, didn't even need it.
Basically, if Team Air Drake was a bunch of old people, they just told them to get off their lawn as they take the Infernal Drake right out from under their noses. That was very well played from Team Air. As well as getting the top tower. I'm with Dingus. He says, you know what? I'm just going to come up here. We're just going to hang out. I'm taking the top tower. Extra gold in our pockets. We're coming back for this one. It's not over.
This
It's
will actually be
never
the
over.
first tower that they're going to be breaking, so that'll be a nice catch up for them if they can get it.
Oh, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it.
Well, Maokai not known for his raw brute strength and damage, but he is able to push this enough that I believe they're not going to waste the teleport in order to prevent this top tower from going down. Here we go. So Amutik slowly punching that tower. Meow Kai is coming out there, sending the cats to do the business. Showing them what's what. Getting that gold for Team Airdrake.
And they're down only 4,000 gold difference now.
They're really bringing it back. They were down a little over 7k before that fight, and then they brought it back and getting that Airdrake. But Bard caught out again, this time by the Ahri sitting in the bush, the death bush in the river there. Caught by the Ash Arrow. Oh, the cleanse followed by the flash. Alright, so she just respects the damage coming out of Airdrake. Did not want to die, which would have led to potentially a very easy Baron coming out from Airdrake.
It looked like we almost had a moment where the Kekerator was thinking if he should check this push or not.
Uh-oh. Shadow Vold messed up his hook shot there, so he just had to flash over the wall, but he gets caught by the Rammus, who just comes in and gives him the taunt. And again,
That is the
lawn
majority of the
getting
team's
bigger
damage.
and bigger from the Airdrake that they are not allowed to be on. The Rammus rolling in again, going through the speed boost from the Scuttle Crab. The world might be their river, but today they're boosting the Airdrake all over the place.
Terrible pops. Did you get? Oh.
The Bard catches the Ahri. This time, no cleanse, no stun, but does have her ultimate up to get away. Corki going in hot right now. Flashing in. They are not wasting time. They just want these kills.
That should be a Baron. Let's see if they go for that.
The Kha'Zix is still up, so it's possible that they may not want it. They also still have the Ezreal that can be poking them from outside the Baron pit, so we'll see what they do here.
That's a very aggressive flash, hoping to catch that Ezreal.
Trying to catch that. If you would have caught that W, that Ezreal is dead. And I like the spunk there. You know, I like his gumption. He's really feeling it. He put some elbow grease into that. And right now we have
teleport
coming in, trying to prevent this Baron from coming in. Might see the steal. Kills the Bard outright. Hextech ultimatum on the Ashe. Kills it.
Got the assist from the Baron there.
Whew. Coming in.
Oh, this might get stolen. This
Blue
could be a
team
heartbreak.
steals the Baron. Holy shit.
Wow.
That was a very close play, and now the Blue Sentinels coming in and taking the Baron right out from the Airdrake. That is
That
a
should be an
disaster.
inhibitor turret as well, with the amount of minions that they have, getting that Baron empowerment.
This is going to be a tough one. This mid lane is about to get a lot of extra
That is a
damage.
fat wave.
Oof.
Watch that turret melt.
Oh! The
That was a little ambitious there.
the Kha'Zix did not respect the 10-3 Corki right now with the Infinity Edge. The Infinity Edge Trinity Force and Static Shiv proc just blew him up just tremendously. But that's still
That
not
was an
enough for him to
ambitious play.
stay with the Taric and the Ezreal looking to provide the extra damage. So they do take the middle inhibitor, which is going to open this game up to allow them to push the side lanes, which is going to be a difficult prospect for Team Airdrake. So what are we seeing? What are we looking for in the next couple minutes? What do we expect to see going on?
Well, there's no real objectives that are available, so I would really like to see with the amount of vision that they have on the bottom side. I'd like to see this Blue Sentinel is going to crack open bottom a little more.
And still only one sweep on Airdrake, so they're going to have a hard time maintaining vision of their jungle. There are wards all over the place that they need to clear out.
Indeed, indeed. Right now we're seeing some farming going on for the top side. Amuting is still doing a good job keeping his farm up even this late in the game, considering he's had to come around for a lot of these team fights. Shadow Vold looking to push his lead in the bot lane here. He's going to be pushing up their side lanes like we were thinking. We were expecting them to try to put some pressure on here with their Baron buff while they still have it.
Looks like they might be doing a 2-2 clear the jungle split, which is a little unconventional, but hopefully they group up and get into one of these lanes to crack it open.
Indeed, the old 2-2. So here we might see Shadow Vold go for this Ashe. Got hit by the Ashe arrow. Somehow goes through the hook shot. Does the extra damage. Does not end up killing the Ashe, but the follow-up from the Ezreal does get it taken down. Rammus
All that
picking up the
turret
Kha'Zix.
aggro is definitely painful.
All the extra damage coming out from Team Blue Sentinels right now. The Bard flashes away to save himself. The Terracall going through, just marching through that tower.
Maokai is nowhere to be found right now. He should be right in the mix of that. Here he
Here
comes.
comes the teleport.
A little late, but
A little late, but he's coming in. He does catch him in the tower.
they do
Throws the
have
extra
the
damage up there.
supers on the inhib turrets, so
That is true. Although we're watching this fight, the Maokai might go down, the Bard might go down. The supers are doing a lot of damage. Takes down one of the Baron, or one of the, Nexus towers. The bottom tier 2 goes down. They have 3 in the bot lane, and they're going to have to deal with these super minions in the mid lane, which is going to be difficult as a Bard and a Rammus not known for their wave clear. The Ezreal, the Ahri, and the Taric walking through the bot lane, smacking through the tower, picking up the second inhibitor. We're going to have 2 waves of super minions come in, which is going to be difficult for our team to take care of.
Looks like they're gonna regroup, lick their wounds.
Infernal.
They got that Infernal Drake just sitting there, the juicy Infernal, just waiting for them to pick up right now. They just get it started immediately, allow those super minions to start marching in. And as Team Air Drake, the red team here, just wants to sit. They want to clear these minions. They want to push back the top as far as they can so that they can't just march up and allow them to start sieging the tower as soon as possible. Other than that, most of the objectives are taken on the map. Red buff is up for the Blue Sentinels. Other than that, they're just looking to clear some wards, looking to prevent the next Baron from going down.
Looks like we got 5 items on the Camille. She's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That is absolutely true, and those items are no joke as well. Having the Ravenous Hydra, the Trinity Force, the Sterix Gauge, and the Guardian Angel. So not only do you have to kill her once, you're going to have to kill her twice with all that lifesteal.
Also, it's looking like the Ashe picked up a stopwatch, so I'm sure we're going to see that come to play in this next scuffle.
Taric walking too far into the jungle, and they said, what did we just tell you about those lawns? Get off. And they push them on back.
That kill is definitely going to delay the closer here. It might even give them some time to regroup and get some inhibitors back.
That's very true. Without the Taric to help them out with those engages, it's going to be a little more difficult for Team Blue Sentinel to just march into the fights. They're definitely ahead. They're up by 10,000 gold. It's not looking great for Team Air Drake right now. They're going to have to find a way to make more of these catches to clear out these waves and not allow Team Blue Sentinel to take any more objectives that come up.
Dingus is definitely... Oh, there
Dingus
might
is
be
in
a...
the wrong place. Oh, he gets caught up by there's the Hextech ultimatum, followed up by the entire team. 2-man Bard allows them to just kind of sit there, think about their lives, feel like King Midas for a second as they turn to gold.
He was doing well clearing up the vision, but didn't think that the bush he was standing in was the one that was warded.
Exactly why you gotta get the sweepers guys.
Charm lands on Rammus, chunking him down far enough that it's gonna be difficult for him to follow up in this next fight. It's gonna be challenging here because all they have to do is sit at this tower, have the Ezreal poke them down if they try to stay here, and other than that, just walk up, get 1 or 2 shots on the tower every time the minions walk up. The Camille's looking to zone them out a little bit. They're getting the tower's going to go down. This is it. They have to make this defense for this final inhibitor. If this inhibitor tower goes down, the super minions are coming in. The Taric ult goes down. They just have to survive this for a moment. They get the healing. They coming in. Shadowbolt comes in, flashes out, doing a little swag.
One-shot to Ashe.
My God.
Wow.
Easy.
The damage coming out. This is the Blue Sentinels are cleaning up. You can see that Camille coming in doing the extra damage. Cannot be stopped right now. So far, we got a 4 for none, taking out the final tower. The inhibitor being pushed down, and Team Blue Sentinel coming out with their first game of the season, 1-0 versus Air Drake. What a match, ladies and gentlemen.
What a match indeed.
Thriller.
Quite the match that we're looking at here. That was definitely a good match to start. And so what do we think the major players and the major plays from Blue Sentinel? What was done in order to secure them that game 1 lead?
Honestly, that vision control they just smothered the Air Drake team. They had no idea where everyone was going. They completely got outclassed in terms of vision score the entire game.
That is true. So, what do we think needs to be picked up in order for that to change? What needs to change in this next game and who needs to start picking up the vision score? Do you think?
I would definitely say a big chunk of that responsibility will be on Hot Soup. What I want to see in terms of team comp, I want to see a lot more wave clear on Air Drake. I mean, yeah, they had all these tanks and all these ways to make the plays, but when it came down to it, they actually didn't have enough peel, it seemed like, for the carries, and they also weren't clearing the waves fast enough to be able to clear that up and then roam somewhere else and capture these objectives. They were just kind of hanging on by the last limb the entire game, it seemed like.
It's very true. So what are we going to see coming out of... do we think we're going to see any different bans coming out of this game?
They may have to respect the Camille top. That really made a lot of influence on the lane there. Just kind of dominated and was able to start one shot in the carries and really cracking the base open. Just did a lot of good things for them.
Yeah.
That's so true. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a quick break. I'm gonna throw on here I'll put on for 6 minutes first to see if there's gonna be enough time, and then otherwise we'll get started with the next game as soon as we can. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that brief break. We are coming down to a couple minutes until game time, but until then, let's talk a little bit about the playmakers that really made the first game swing very hard in the hands of Blue Sentinel. Sonic, what did you think of the Blue Sentinel team, and who do you think were the major playmakers?
Blue Sentinel, they had a strong presence that early game, and just the top lane with Shadow of Old just really taking control of that lane and influencing the game mid and late. Just there was some good action there.
I agree. That's a hard matchup. Camille into tanks can be very challenging. It's hard to challenge her for fights. I think that one's going to involve a lot of jungle support, which unfortunately was not able to get that time. But there was that situation where that kill just barely got away for I'm with Dingus in the top lane on Air Drake, and I think it might have been a little bit of a tilting experience, to know that you could have had that big lead and it slipped away.
The one
just
who got away.
Exactly. Also, what do we think about that Ezreal in that last game?
Very solid play. I think they executed that team comp very well. They were just poking down every objective, especially when you have vision like that. You can really just stand around in all these bushes and just smash Qs in people's faces.
Oh, absolutely. And it really caused a lot of problems, I think, for that bot lane, just to get that extra poke in order to not be able to step up in the lane and to have Kha'Zix appear at the most inopportune times in order to turn those fights around and really push that bottom lane down.
Yeah, really interesting picks on Air Drake's side for the bot lane. I don't know if I don't think they want to do an Ashe Bard again. I would imagine something more sustainable, maybe even more mobile for sure. I mean, if they're going to do these playmakers, they don't need that much stuff to kind of stick around with an immobile bot lane.
Yeah, indeed. I think at this point in time that although the Ashe is a great choice because he was able to get some good picks and put out a lot of nice damage, it was difficult to get away. And ultimately it was not too bad because the Camille you can't get away from regardless of who you are. So you might as well have a champion like Ashe who can throw some stuns out there and try to survive for a moment while your team helps get that Camille off your back. But I agree with you. I wonder what they're going to pull out this time. I'm expecting to see that Vayne still banned because it is a respect ban for Icically. He is very well known on that and can perform very highly. But what about that Bard? What do you think it's going to be? We could see it again. It could change to something else. What are we expecting?
I think it'll depend on the carry they want to pick. I would try to prioritize a Tristana, something like that. If they do that, I would want someone that can just enable that hyper carry. So something like a Lulu, even like a Janna, just peel for him, let him pump out some autos. That would be totally reasonable. They can also try to get that TheRekt pick on their own side.
That's true. That is true. That is a powerful pick right now, giving them a lot of survivability and the ability to tower dive, which worked out very well for Blue Sentinels that last game. I'd like to focus our attention for a minute into the mid lane, which was very close for the majority of the game. The farm was good. There was not a lot of deaths going on. They were able to weather the storm of the jungles coming in and trying to get those ganks. However, though, that Corki by the end of the game really stepped up in the damage, stepped up in the kills. Do you think we're going to see that again? Are they going to switch to something new? Stick with what works. What are we thinking here?
I think sticking with the Corki definitely would be a safe play. He's got pretty good mobility. The package just has such an influence on the game, and just was really able to scale well and roam and do everything right. So I think that's a good strong pick to definitely influence the map, and wouldn't be surprised to see it again.
I agree. I believe both packages have a big influence in the game because that Corki was rocking big rockets. You know what I'm saying? Those rockets he was shooting out between his legs.
Yeah, he had a
big
big package.
Big package. So I did like to see the Rammus coming out from Hot Soups was pretty impressive. It almost turned the game around, being able to chase down those different people, giving them the taunt so they couldn't go anywhere and allowing his team to catch up. Do you think we're going to see that again in this game?
I don't imagine they're going to prioritize that. I was actually surprised they picked it that early. I would prefer, if I were them, something more tanky, but in terms of like heavy CC that can impact their whole team. just because it seemed a lot of times he was just getting kited. The Ari charm really slowed him down at times also. And it seemed like a lot of his ganks ended up slipping away. So maybe something with some harder CC or some lockdown on their side.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Also, what do we think about that Kazakhs? Kazakhs actually played pretty well in that last game. Got a smattering of kills. Made a lot of good plays in the early game. Is that something that's bannable, or do you think we're going to see it picked again?
I think definitely had some influence, but I'm not sure if it was bannable. I mean, he is a squishy champion. If you're not alone and you're not super squishy, then you'll be able to take care of the Kazakhs damage. But I thought they had some good influence, but I'm not sure if he'll pick it up or if they're gonna want to ban it or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's as bannable as it is fixable for Air Drake. I mean, a lot of everything that happened was vision based. So
All right, we're going to throw it over to the Champ Select, which is getting started now with the banning phase. So we're going to see how these teams are going to adapt to what they just saw in that first game. And to find out, just kidding. Someone decided that they were not prepared. So we're going to throw it on back. It looks like somebody had to drop, so they had to go back. So we're going to reset that for a moment. Please continue with what you were saying a second ago.
Yeah, so a lot of the issues that Air Drake was having was on the vision side. I mean, that was essentially the entire game. Was they didn't know where they were going. They didn't know who was roaming and who was ganking and what was going on in the jungle. So Kha'Zix is a really strong pick when that's the case. If they don't have wards where they need them, he can literally just walk around and pick off whoever he wants.
That's very true. So we're looking to see this time if I'm very interested to see what the bans are going to be. If they're worried about specific champions or if they're reacting to what they just played against in this game.
Absolutely. I do want to see as well what they want to do in the top lane. It didn't seem like that Maokai pick was working out very well.
Yeah, we'll have to see with that one. The Maokai is interesting because if he can get parity with that lane to not allow him to farm too hard but not allow him to push over the tower, that could do a good job. We'll have to see. That Camille thrown out first. Goodbye, that champion.
Never again.
Yeah, that was a very difficult lane to deal with, as well as just being able to have that ability to roam around the map. But we see the Shyvana band away. I think that must be a champion for Hot Soups. You know, one of his comfort champions. It's another one that can just do an incredible amount of damage as she just runs at you with her dragon fire swirling around her. So what are we gonna see here? What are they worried about? They don't want Darth Ted to get that Caitlyn, which he is known for. He is very comfortable on that champion and is a very difficult laning phase for you to go through to get that poke from that long range sniper rifle. Again, the Shen respect ban. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's almost a necessity.
I mean, when I'm with Dingus on Shen, he goes from a bronze player to a high silver player. So getting him off that pick is always a smart move.
Agreed. He does lane well. He's gotten some solo kills and some first bloods on that champion. It is definitely a respect ban for that. Taking away the TheRekt, they are expecting them to go back and to choose that champion for.
I guess if they can't pick it, they're gonna ban it.
Exactly. And maybe they just Kekarator might not feel comfortable playing it. He just doesn't want to pick it up. So they just say, you know what, Grimjow, you're done. No more TheRekt for you. No more power diving at 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
There's another mid respect ban there for Twisted Fate.
They don't want that Twisted Fate because that can really affect all over the map. And once you start having Twisted Fate showing up in your lanes, throwing gold cards at you, it starts feeling real bad. Showing that little rat again. We'll see if he gets picked up. Thankfully, they switch off from that poison slinging guy.
These memes, they just write themselves, man.
I had to have a moment of silence for the Garen showing up. Shadow of Old, flashing that Garen, just in case he comes out someday. We'll have to see.
Still too soon.
That's true. But Garen is a ferocious top laner. It is possible that he could be seen someday, but
interesting. The Thresh pick into Morgana. He's hard countered by that.
We'll have to see if the Thresh feels like he could bait out that black shield and then make a play. But otherwise, he's going to have a hard time landing those hooks with Kekarator putting the black shield on. However, Morgana is a flex pick for mid lane as well. So if you find out that it's just a pushing lane, you could flex that to the mid and pick a different support for the bottom, but we'll see. Xayah being picked up for Blue Sentinels. I personally have not seen Darth Dead play that, but I'm sure he feels very confident picking up second pick. The Kazakhs coming out for Air Drake this time, stealing it away from Unstream's previous encounter in the jungles. We'll
Blue
see.
Sentinel gonna pick Remus now, or
That would be very interesting to see if it comes out. We did see that. We have the Ezreal pick coming out for Air Drake this time. So we'll have to see if that's going to be Icically rocking the safe Ezreal pick, looking for the early game poke and dominance, and what they're going to answer with for Team Air, what they're going to prioritize here. Picking the Ahri in the mid lane, giving him his comfort champion, which he's been very safe with and able to make those plays and get that good CS. And getting that money.
I'd expect a Corki ban here.
I think it's possible. I mean, I would hope to see that just based on the amount of damage that was pumped out last game. Shoemaker showing he's very competent at that Corki pick.
Yeah.
There's that Malzahar, though. Malzahar plaguing the TheRektLeague. He actually, if I were to make a flag for the TheRektLeague, it would be Malzahar's face on it with, the number of kill confirms that he's had throughout the games. And it'd be a lot. Vi. They don't want to give Unstream a proactive, powerful ganking tool. So they're taking away that Vi, so she can't just come flying out of the jungle with that fist facing forward and come up, uppercut you, and slam you down Dragon Ball Z style, followed by
I think this may be
punches.
I think this may be them trying to disrupt the champion pool of Unstream.
And there's the Corki ban.
Yeah, as expected. I mean, you definitely called it. And the good respect to that previous Corki play, it was very, very strong and almost turned the game around. Even with that gold deficit, they were able to win a couple team fights pretty cleanly. So here we go. We're going to have to see. They banned the Teemo.
I'm not sure on that Teemo ban, but
well, Teemo.
Oh, are they actually going to pick Garen?
I think they may have ran out of ideas and just went for the Teemo ban.
They could actually pick
It's been a long hover of Garen. I mean, with the Teemo ban, it's definitely viable.
Oh, God, the Gnar. Okay, so Gnar is still a popular top laner. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he did just receive a nerf in this previous patch, so his boomerang cooldown is significantly higher after he gets his ultimate ability. So now he won't be throwing out boomerangs.
Does more damage.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Gnar is still very annoying, but we get the Talia coming out for the mid laner, so we're gonna have a lot of pushing power and still a lot of roaming power, a lot of map presence, which you can just show up riding that wall into your lane, popping out and throwing rocks at you.
And Air Drake still could use a good CC champion top, so let's see what they want to do here.
I think we might be expecting still, yeah, a Maokai might still come out for this. That's what I thought. It's still a good pick for this composition. That's a lot of CC. It's a lot of tankiness. And now we just get into the Gnar. It's going to be difficult. He's going to get poked pretty heavily by that Gnar, and the Gnar's percentage health will, of course, do the work that is required in order for a top laner to win the lane. But here...
Right, we get it, guys. You're not picking it.
Definitely not a viable jungle, but whatever you're feeling.
I mean, unless you're Night Blue 3, Garen's not really going to come out and start blasting people. So we get the Sejuani, the tank jungle pick of choice for a lot of our players, and we'll have to see if that allows them to get that tankiness with the Gnar that they need in order to make these plays. So what do we think about the team comps here? What's the path for Blue Sentinel's victory?
Blue Sentinel, they got a very solid team fight comp. I would expect Air Drake to prioritize that Quicksilver Sash, make sure they're not getting locked down. I mean, they have the Thresh, Ahri, they got the Ahri charm, they have the Sejuani ult, and then they have the Gnar ult when he's in Mega Gnar. So there's a lot on their plate for dealing with.
That is true. What do we think about Air Drake? How are they going to take this one, Sonic?
I'm thinking it's going to be the Maokai ult, kind of holding the team in place. But I think that Talia definitely has some influence with her wall. That might be their path to engagement, is cutting off and then using that opportunity to get the Maokai ult in to just kind of root them down while they're trying to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're definitely going to be focused more on pushing the lanes with the Morgana, and the Talia. They're going to really have some influence there. So I think keeping these lanes pressured and getting that farm disparity in their favor is gonna be really important for their gameplay.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're going to rely on Morgana's Qs for peel or for engaging.
That'll be really interesting. I think in that early lane phase, you hit that Morgana binding, and then you're getting free poke from Ezreal. That's gonna hurt. Just a tragic, just a tragedy for the bot lane if you get hit with this. I know it always feels like when Morgana hits that Q binding, you know, that big purple ball comes and smashes into you. Then you go, oh my god. You put everything down, you throw your mouse at the monitor, you walk away, you change your shoes, you take a quick shower, cold shower, come back, you're still bound. You know, you pick up your new mouse that you went to the store to go, and you go, okay, fine, Morgana binding's finally done. Ezreal's done poking me. My screen's gray now.
Just in time for me to finish my very rich novel.
Exactly, that
Actually,
you wrote and published.
Am I looking at the screen right? Are we seeing the double heal going in on there?
It's very possible. Right now, I have it shown on the
Okay.
players going in. We have
Yeah.
them switch sides. We see their beautiful faces showing up.
Yeah, I think we might have overlooked that initially on the select there, but we've got Ezreal with heal, which is expected, and Talia actually has heal, which I think that's just to get some sustain or survivability against the Ari when she goes all in.
I think it's possibly.
I mean, I would say cleanse would be super effective if with all of the CC, but I mean, the heal will give her some bonus regen, and it'll also boost that movement speed. So we'll see if it works out or not.
That's true. I mean, at this still point in time, I do agree that the cleanse would have been a good choice, given that the cleanse would prevent Sejuani from also getting early ganks on you. If she does come into lane and get that stun off, you could just cleanse and walk away to prevent yourself from getting that early gank off. But we'll see. Shoemaker's played very safe thus far. We've had to not worry too much about worrying about what actually is going on in the early phases. So perhaps if it's like the previous game, they can just sit there farming up at each other and just deciding when they want to start affecting those side lanes.
Let's get that wet noodle fight.
Exactly. So other than that, we got the Gnar versus the Maokai. Maokai's going to struggle a bit in the beginning. Gnar's just going to be poking him down with all those boomerangs and, you know, the cutest ever little throwing things at him. Whatever he throws, little rocks or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a bit of a jerk. But I'm
assuming we're
interested
gonna
to see
see the
what
Maokai
Kha'Zix
skin
does.
on top.
What do you think Kha'Zix is going to be doing in this game? Because he has a couple lanes that he could gank for, but, you know, ganking a Maokai's... Or, I'm sorry, he's on that team, right? He's going to be ganking Gnar. He's going to be ganking Ahri, perhaps. I wonder where he's going to show up. What do you guys think?
A lot of slippery champs on Blue Sentinel. I would expect them to continue that plan of getting more resources for the bot lane. But I would say the best bet would be to snowball that mid lane matchup before Ahri hits level 6.
I think that would be a wise play. We have double unsealed spellbook going on in the mid lane. So it's possible that we could see that heal just for that early game, allow himself to pull himself that extra health so he can stay in lane to get that perhaps critical item and then move on from there. We'll have to see. So now we move into the game. Game is loaded up. They're currently on our screen. They're waiting for them to appear. We're going to see what sort of level 1 is going to come out from each team. So what do you think?
I would imagine it's going to be a standard level 1 for everyone. It didn't seem anyone was too keen on making some spicy early plays.
I mean, we have the potential for the Thresh Hook or the Morg Binding to really kind of lock some people and force out some summoners early.
That's true. So we're going to see. It looks like...
It's looking like the Sentinels are pushing in for a coordinated gank.
Oh, they're all moving. They're moving to a specific location here. All right, looking Oh, are they spotted? They are spotted out, all walking up from the bottom river. I anticipate this is just going to be... They see it, they walk away. Dingus sits there, showing his Meowkai skin off. You know, being the handsome one, potentially preventing them from knowing exactly what the movements are. But other than that, staring at each other, throwing some ward cooldowns, walking back into their respective jungle.
And just like that, the dance is over.
It's unfortunate. I always love the dance part of the night, you know. The champions showing off their moves. Hot soup there, you know, headbanging.
Flash the masteries,
Gnar is
emotes,
freezing,
whatever.
man.
Shadow of Old sitting there with his Gnar, feeling pretty good about his previous pick. Choosing the Cole to start.
So I'm interested to see if this Kha'Zix plays super aggressive. He could totally invade on that Sejuani and make some plays early on.
A lot of pushing starting off for Rovian and in the beginning, just hitting all the minions, trying to push them out as fast as they can. Shoemaker as well. So helping out that Sejuani with the blue buff as they walk into lane. We're going to see the standard start. Although it looks like Darth's Head did miss out on a little bit of experience. We might see the level 2 coming in faster for Icically and Kekerator.
The level 2 is definitely going to be an all-in sort of moment.
It's very possible, especially if Morgana hits that. If Morgana hits any of these Qs and Ezreal's level 2 and they're level 1, so it's going to be a bloodbath. So we're looking here, standard poking going on, nothing too fancy. It looks like Darthad and Grimjow actually hit level 2 first, which, as we just saw, the Ezreal and the Morgana hitting level 2 second. We have a little bit of Shadow of Old being a nuisance in the jungle for Hot Soups.
Getting some deep vision there.
Exactly, trying to show like, hey, I'm gonna be safe. You're not coming up and ganking me with that nonsense. So I'm just gonna keep here. I'm gonna push up. I'm a dingus.
Also, it's allowing Air Drake to play a lot more aggressively on the bottom side because they know where the jungler's at.
Oh,
So
here
Shadow
he
of Old's in
comes.
a rough spot here.
Oh my
He
goodness!
pushed up a
let's take
little too far. He had vision of the jungle being there. Oh, he's
and
gonna
the
have to
flash.
out.
Oh, goes in. First blood going to Hot Soups, and he delivered that soup while it was still steamy and delicious. My goodness, getting that first
executed.
gold money. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a misplay on the Gnar. They had vision of the jungler being in the top side, but still played very aggressively and allowed the overextension and jump there.
He just
Yeah,
thought
very
he could get out of there with that hop, you know, bouncing over him, but Maokai with that lockup and that pushback is just a little too much CC.
It is interesting, the Gnar starting with a Cole and the Thresh starting with an Ancient Coin. They're clearly trying to get as much gold as they can as we head into the mid-game.
I see the Cole as a very aggressive pick. It's a little cheeky, really, because you're letting go on any type of extra health or defensive items and going right for that farm. We got a little bit. We're getting a setup bot for a gank. See if the Kha'Zix can come in. Hot Soup is going in.
Coming in.
Oh, we got a hook from the Thresh, but they just kind of reset back
Looks like
away.
the binding was missed and they just walked away. So they know where the jungle is. Grimjow just walking, putting a ward there so we can prevent any sort of other ganks coming in. We do have the wards in there to prevent any of this shenanigans from happening. He got away smooth that time. If that Morgana binding would have hit, that might have been a different story.
And Maokai choosing not to TP back top lane. He's already found himself in a pretty heavy deficit in terms of CS.
It's true. Right now, though, keep an eye on the bottom lane. Sejuani is sneaking in through this bush, waiting for any sort of aggression to go in. It looks like we might not see it, though. Yeah, Maokai is down. He's almost down. Oh, my goodness. He's down about 16 farms so far, which is about a kill. So the kill has already been made up by Shadow of Old's farming.
And the flash by Ari. Rovian just getting out of there. Maybe next
Feeling it.
time.
They had a quick gank in the mid lane that I missed there. Sorry about that, but wow. So it is down a flash. That means Rovian still has his cleanse up. And we might see more action here in the top lane. It looks like the jungle's coming up. Shadow of Old sees it, walks away. Says, no thank you. Not today, please.
If we waited just a moment longer, he may have been able to sneak past that ward with the pink.
Yep.
That is true. Shoemaker, a resident Geomancer, pushing up the lane, going back to make the first buy for them.
Looks like we're getting set up top for a gank. The Gnar's feeling something's fishy with Maokai going in so hard.
Yeah, not feeling that one right there.
I think it's maybe need to be a little more discreet about his potential ganks, kind of projecting.
He did catch up in farm, though.
Which is excellent, and he's done a good job with that. Now, they have some action going on in the top lane here. There's a lot of jungles. They're about to find each other right now in the jungle. And the top laners going in. There's a lot of fighting going on. Bot lane still playing back while the top laners are making some effort to put some hurt on each other. We got Rovian pushed up first here in the top lane. We have a pink ward there, so he doesn't know he's there. It looks like, oh, hits him with the knockback on the Talia using the ult. Kha'Zix goes in, hits him with the extra damage, but Rovian, while 6, allows him to use his Spirit Rush to get out of there.
Maokai's going in on Sedge here. I'm not sure if this is going to be a kill, but the team's definitely going to need to come over and help out. And I think he sent that the wrong way.
Maybe hits up the Ahri.
Oh
my goodness, the setup was fantastic. Well
Excellent
done.
Play. That's exactly how you want to see the Maokai being used.
Exactly. I'm with Dingus, really stepping it up on that one. That was an excellent move. He just made it look like, oops, my bad, I sent the ult in the wrong direction. But we do have some action going on in the bot lane. Lost a flash, gonna lose our Thresh, we think, to this tower.
no.
Final
He
hit.
actually gets a kill out of it.
Oof, the tower kills our Morgana, but Icically does pick up the kill, which is an important part for him. Other than that, we have a little action in the top lane getting shoved up. And Icically just going to finish off this wave.
He might need to back up sooner here. He's putting himself in a predicament with Xayah just buying.
That is true, but Xayah does want to get this minion wave, so he does allow himself to say, it's either, do you want to come for me and have a chance of killing me, or do you want these, by a quick count, maybe 12 minions? So Shoemaker walking up here. Just cleaning out the fast wave clear from Talia. Always feels good to watch. Geomancer throwing those rocks. It looks like our top laners were potentially doing a back. Not sure. Shadow of Old was just feigning that one. Darth Tad putting some damage into this bottom lane tower. As Ezreal just had a little bit too long of a back time in order to come back. I'm not sure if he had to wait for an item. It looks like he got a first buy Manamune at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. That's impressive.
Yeah, we'll see how fast he can charge that up.
Agreed. It looks like he might start stacking that up real quickly. Other than that, we're seeing some farm going. Sejuani grabbing the buffs accordingly. Might have a visit bot lane as we're getting a little pushed in. But other than that, both teams kind of farming accordingly. Nothing too crazy going on right here.
It seems like he skipped the tier and run right to the Manamune, so he's definitely behind on stacks, being about 9 minutes in now.
That is true. But he does get the initial power of having the Manamune there.
For sure.
So hopefully it does allow him to do some extra poking. But it looks like the red team, the Blue Sentinels, are sneaking in the Ocean Drake right here. Although, I'm not sure how sneaky they're being, but they're just taking it.
Q.
Might get it
So
up.
Morg.
Cat Raider going in. Oh, good try. All right. But you cannot deny the Sejuani. Goes in there and just takes the final damage on it. Gets the first Ocean Drake. For those of you watching who are not familiar with the Ocean Drake, that gives them the passive regeneration throughout the game with the percentage of their health and mana, giving them a little more sustain during the lane phase and in order to allow these just to go in. Shadow of Old, fancy feet, not fancy enough to get past those vines in the top lane.
I think there was no follow-up that they were able to have there. But it looks like they're trying to collapse on top lane right now.
Blue team.
Talia does have her ult, so he might box him out. Yeah, there it is.
There it comes. Gonna jump
And
over the
jump
wall.
over it.
Oh, but they closed the wall down.
It's two flashes there.
Shadow of Old. They really wanted to force that one. They wanted to take this. If Shadow of Old would have died there, they could have probably taken top tower.
Could definitely get some damage on.
I think they could still get the turret here if they just stay on it, but it looks like they're giving it up.
I think mainly because the mid lane was missing, so they're assuming the mid lane was going to show up and fight them. So fighting a 2v3 at the turret might not seem like a good prospect just yet. So other than that, we're seeing Standard fighting in the bot lane. Mid lane's going to shove up. Talia's going to do her Talia things and throw those rocks, clean that wave very nicely. Again, mid lane, pretty evenly matched, staying up in farm, as expected. Bot lane, it looks like that Ezreal's getting that farm lead, as to be expected as well. He's that strong early game champion where his mystic shots really cause a headache for a lot of other laners. And there, we got Sejuani just cleaning up that jungle, getting that farm again, up about 20 or 16 farm right now. Shadow of Old's Rage Bar is getting up there, so there might be another little Meganar versus Maokai tussle in the top lane.
Even though there's a disparity in kills, there's definitely a very close gold race here.
Indeed, this is a much cleaner game as far as the gold is, as far as the kills are concerned, in the early game gold advantage. This is both teams maybe took a deep breath, starting it off. Rovian again with that early game Hextech Proto Belt in order to give that push power that to allow him to push even harder with Ahri to potentially affect those side lanes. Although it looks like there's a little bit of top matchup going on right now. Dingus and Shadow of Old not afraid to fight it out in these lanes. But they are cleaning up the middle for Vision. We're getting a little roam topside. We got our Talia surfing along those walls. Gets seen by that ward, however. So just allows Gnar to back up and allow them to not have to do any fighting.
Got a scuffle bot.
You're slowly starting to see that vision difference. I mean, Sentinel has vision all over the river. They're very well protected. Still yet to see Airdrake get solid vision control of these objectives and set themselves up for success.
There is a little scuffle around these pink wards here in the bot lane. They want to control that tri-brush, but they do see that the Kha'Zix is down there, and the Sejuani is looking to take everything she possibly can from the top jungle in response. Taking those camps, trying to get that extra gold, extra experience.
Sounds like your voice is getting some props, Ready Z.
Oh, that's fantastic.
An 1,800 thread count.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. I hope to allure you with more conversation about the badassery that TheRektLeague is. So that the bot lane is really getting their poke on right now. They just had a big scuffle. I think they're deciding with a half health Ezreal, how hard do they want to go into this at some point in time. I would love to see some really aggressive play from this Thresh, potentially getting some. If you can get a flay off on there, it could be a really big issue here, especially with that Sejuani coming in. I think they're looking for the lantern pull. If you can land a hook into the lantern pull, it's gonna pulling the Darth head back, maybe to make them think that there's no Sejuani in the bush.
I think throwing the lantern back to the sedge might have been a little more effective, but maybe they were trying to give the appearance of overextension.
So I mean, they don't know. Right now, the Sejuani's just hanging out. It's sneaky. It's like, quiet, pig, quiet.
It's almost said
noises.
They need to get caught by the Morg Q.
Oh, hits him with the Q, but then there's that dark binding.
I want to see this R come in on this Ezreal.
The Sejuani did show there.
Here it is.
Oh,
there's
the
all
ultimate coming out, catching the Morgana.
A lot of damage going out from this tower.
But nobody dies.
Wow.
Not able to close it.
And they all walk away. Now, Kakarator's in a difficult position here because it looks like he...
This turret is going to go down.
That's true.
Wow, she might get a kill here. Oh, no, we got the flash. Ezreal's got...
That was very well played. The Sejuani went in there and tanked it up. Oh, my goodness.
The flash lantern there. Top lane here. We got a jump going in on the Gnar.
That was impressive. Unfortunately for me, just caught the tail end of that lantern. Did not expect them to stay any further than that, as there was a fight going on in the top lane. But that was well played from Grimjow. He definitely knows his Thresh. They're looking for the gank onto Rovian, who's going to find himself in a little bit of a predicament here, but again, takes his ultimate to get away. And Spirit rushes out of there. Really nice work. Forcing the ultimate out of the Ahri, forcing her into a more submissive position so she can't just keep pushing up the wave, keep using her Proto Belt, and just getting as much gold, trying to allow Talia to roam as much as possible. Shadow of Old, though, really becoming a nuisance with those boomerangs. I mean, Gnar, pretty much the cutest thing ever, but my goodness, is he on par with Teemo as far as top lane annoyances go. So that, all right. So we're back now. The bot lane situation was done. So we got the poking going in. We have a little bit of a fight going on here. They spot out the Kazakhs. Rovian says, "Nah, out of my lane, friend."
I mean, as far as objectives, the turrets, we're still needing first blood on the turret, but we got a Mountain Drake up. We got the Rift Herald up. The teams just seem to be wandering around their lanes, not sure, waiting for maybe another gank.
That's true. We are 16 minutes in, but we do have 2 points of control here. As you can see, these control wards sitting in these bushes right now, preventing vision from going on. So I think it's a little hard to be proactive with what's going on here. Shadow of Old, though, is zoning Amadingus off for some farm, and it's going to be up by 30 farm, which is about 2 kills at this point in time. Is worth in gold. So it's going to start getting a little more difficult for him to keep up, considering he's about up by 800 gold at this point in time, which is a full item. And that black cleaver that Gnar has is going to make it really difficult in order for him to start stacking the correct stats to prevent that poke damage. We see a little invade on the top side here. Sejuani walking in with the Ahri, getting that vision, putting the double vision down, really saying, you know what, we're both looking at you. We really, really, really want to see what's going on right here. And it looks like they could get this top tower.
No, he's going to have to back off that before he can finish it.
The Talia comes down, walls off the Thresh, but the Thresh puts out just enough, tries to sneak by, but that wall just lasts seemingly forever. Darth Ted dodges the Morg binding with that ultimate of his. Well done, letting those feathers fly.
Oh,
but the Kazakhs coming in says, nope, you're not getting away from this unscathed. We're making this play happen. So the red team takes the first turret with that Gnar, and then Gnar says, you know, I just took this turret. I don't think I want you to take this turret here. I'm coming with the Gnar, full big Gnar in there, but the
timing on that binding
was well good.
Wow.
Oh, he's going in. But the perfect black shield by Kakarator prevents Icicle from being slammed into the wall.
Almost killed him with that rock, though.
Rovian wandering down, giving the support to the Gnar. And the Sejuani stealing some camps out from the jungle here. This is, again, the game of inches here by Team Blue Sentinels is really starting to creep up. They're just up by 1,000 gold, but
Sejuani just kind of scuttles away there.
Gets away. Oh, so close. Those worms, man, they're looking for deliciousness. Those cute kitty worm things. I'm not really sure what those things would be called. Cat vines?
It's like a neon cat kind of.
It's like an internet thing?
Yeah, some memes going on.
7 seconds long. That's probably how long that ult is. Because they're cat vines. Get it? Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Anyway, the Blue Sentinels walk in. They want to take that Mountain Drake, getting the extra damage to objectives, and we're looking to see if there's any steal attempt. It looks like the True Shot Barrage. Good try from Ezreal. Very close. Probably about 200 health off from hitting that steal.
Yeah, it seems like Air Drake doesn't really have like a solid plan for what they want to do objective-wise. I was hoping they would focus more on top lane. I mean, you have the Maokai pushing in now, but not a lot of support coming elsewhere, and they're not really focusing any objectives either.
Look how long that binding is. The Gnar just sitting there in the black puddle, feeling sorry for himself. So we have the teleport coming out from, it looks like, I believe this is Shoemaker's teleport. Yeah, this is the Talia teleport. Make sure that the mid lane does not go down just yet. Pushing it back. We see a little scuffle going on here. Missed hook from the Thresh prevents the Morgana from taking a critical amount of damage. Other than that, Talia is just walking through, doing Talia things. So yeah, this is it's a okay. Ooh, Maokai going in, pushing him back.
Definitely has enough health.
By the skin
to kind of hold that tank that turret a little longer. He definitely has the health for it, but that is going to punish Talia. She's going to have to go back and heal for this.
That's true. 218 health is what you got out with there, which is just long enough to prevent that extra damage. That Ahri really showing her Spirit Rush to be critical in preventing that extra damage from coming through that could really end her life.
This has been less of an engage tool and more of a disengage.
Yeah, in this case. And that's okay. I mean, it allows her to play safe in that mid lane versus a pushing champ like Talia. We have Blue Sentinels really putting most of their might into this middle lane here. I think potentially looking for this mid lane turret, which is sitting at about, what would you say, 20% health?
And I'm with Dingus does have his teleport up. I'm not sure if he wants to be grouping mid right now. They do have that bot turret super low, so I would try to focus that. But it looks like they're just gonna try to work something out mid lane here.
Darth Ted now ending to be the final person looking to clear out the minions here. Pushing the side waves. Blue Sentinels really doing their diligence. Making the Air Drake's decisions for them at this point in time. Knowing that, look, we're pushing in your side lanes. You're going to have to deal with this somehow. And then we're going to push in your mid lane and take your tower. Although Icicly's doing a great job doing his poke. Sending out that Iceborne Gauntlet to really allow them to clear the waves as best they can. Hits him with the binding. All the extra damage comes out. Icicly shifts away from the fight. Big fight going in middle here. A lot of damage coming out. A lot of CC coming out here. Everyone getting low. Ari getting taken down. Everyone's getting taken down here in the mid lane. This is Air Drake fighting through. This is a 3-for-0 currently. Fight still going through right now. Talia gets taken down here. Kha'Zix is going in for the extra damage. Has shown up. Sejuani getting low under the tower. Oh, but the Gnar comes in and smacks the Kha'Zix. Gnar still fighting under the tower here. I'm with Dingus coming in, takes some extra shots. Shadow Volt getting very low. And the final Morgana binding at the end takes him down. Wow, incredible fight again for Air Drake. That looked like, I believe that was that a delayed ace at that point in time? Did they take everyone out over the course of everyone's life? I think it was 5-for-2.
I think so, yeah.
Well played on their part. Good team fight there. I think Dingus hit a couple of them with his ultimate that allowed them to take the extra damage in order to swing that team fight into their hands. Well played on Air Drake. Gives them time to reset a little bit. Unfortunately, if they don't come back fast enough, it looks like Blue Sentinel could push down this mid turret, but they are splitting and going their own ways, figuring out how they want to push out the map. So we'll see what comes of this.
That was a great fight by Icicly. I was just watching his positioning. He was very close to going down, but got the Q on the Xayah and secured that one.
Yeah, agreed. He definitely shifted in the right direction, keeping himself away from harm, allowing himself to pump out that extra damage throughout that fight. So other than that, the gold disparity is looking, top lane is still going to be up about 1,600 gold. The junglers are almost dead even on gold. The mid laners are about 500 gold discrepancy. We got a fight going on again. They just want more blood coming on here. Team Air Drake responding to this aggression from Blue Sentinels on the bot side of their jungle. Maokai shows up with the teleport, hits everyone with his ultimate. But the damage coming out from Blue Sentinel is just too much. It's cleaning them all up. It looks like there's going to be a 3-for-1 going on in that scuffle.
Wow.
Double kill and the mid tower going down as well. Shoemaker here to clean the waves a little bit, but that was a devastating blow from Blue Sentinel, allowing them to move towards objectives. That I would not be surprised if they do end up going through with this. They have the damage, but I don't know if they have the tankiness to survive this Baron right now.
Sedge to really take this, but she might just meld onto Baron as well.
Looks like they might have enough damage to take it here. It's going to be getting really low if they do a little bit more dancing and Darth.
Oh, this is not gonna be good.
Shoemaker in hot soup. Oh, here they come.
Oh,
Red team takes it. Okay.
I was actually surprised Talia didn't follow that.
Yeah, that's
could have gotten a double kill and even a steal with that. But without the vision, it's really hard to make that call.
That was close, exactly. It's a tough one. You'd have to just say, is it worth for me to try to steal the Baron out from under a jungler who probably has Smite doing the extra damage on there? That would have been a tough one. I think it was ultimately a good choice. He would have just given up his life. And now he's available. He's able to help push. But unfortunately, the Baron minions are going to make it really hard for Talia to take these things down. They do take reduced magic damage. So it's going to be challenging for them to take this down as fast as they would have wanted. But they do commit 4 members to the mid lane, which allows them to take this turret and move on to the next fight.
I'm gonna go take this Air Drake.
Air Drake being the next possible objective for them to go for here. We might end up seeing them go for this. There is now vision that Air Drake has, so it's possible that they could prevent this. But they do have 2 members in the top side, and if they're spotted out, then it gives the go-ahead for the Blue Sentinels to go for this. But I'm with Dingus is caught out a little bit. He's being grabbed up. He flashes over the box from
This might get turned.
Fresh.
Nope.
I don't
They're
think
gonna
Air
get out
Drake
of
is
there.
going to get here fast enough. Morgana going down and Maokai going down with 4 members in the bot lane. Ezreal's going to have to do his best fancy footwork in order to help take down these Baron-empowered minions. And I think with this one, they're going to take tier 2 bot lane without too much effort. And there it goes. That
Hot Soup
Thresh
and
is
Shoemaker
really...
choosing to go for the blue buff, totally from the opposite side of the map from the objective.
Nara
that
going in,
all that
gets
Baron.
the flash out of Talia. Really want to go for that big play there. And if he would have got that play, it would have definitely helped out with the wave clearing in order to take that mid-tier 2. But it looks like they're going to take it without much effort. They have enough champions there to really put the pressure onto it. The Lantern comes out very clean. Blue Sentinels looking like a force to be reckoned with in this league.
This top turret might go down just from the minions that are on it.
It
A
does
lot of
look like
caster
it.
minions doing a ton of damage.
And it has just enough that cannon minion to do, again, 7 hits to kill those things. But the minions show up, the casters decide it's time to fight our mortal enemies instead of those towers. They just give the opportunity for that Maokai to collect a little bit more farm to get himself back into the fight with some greater items so he can help out with the next battle. Other than that, now we're looking like Air Drake pushing out their waves, going to go back, going to make some buys. Hopefully they can catch themselves a few items that can help them turn the tides to these getting increasingly more difficult team fights. It's only going to get harder as
I
Shadow
like
Bolt.
to see this Ezreal holding on his ult for some wave management. They could really set it up so that bot lane will crash into that tower and focus elsewhere on the map. It looks like he's using it a lot for team fights and trying to steal objectives.
They catch the Morgana in the top side jungle with the sweeper ward. She was hanging out in the brush,
Hate to see that.
but that feels bad. You know, he was probably looking at the items to buy, you know, counting their bills, saying, yeah, I can't wait to get this stuff.
Oh,
The Thresher goes in, hits Icically, unfortunately,
Just
after
gets
the
deleted.
shift.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness, that was a well-timed hook. That was a good shift from Icically, but unfortunately was in the direction that the hook went in.
this may end up. This is definitely going to be an inhibitor turret. Don't know if they can close the game out at this point.
And the inhibitor turret goes down, which again, we've seen the difficulty when the inhibitor goes down. It becomes that balancing act of what can we do? What can we still take on the map while having to deal with these super minions that are going to come in, naturally push the wave down, give your lane support and additional power just from their existence. It's going to be a challenging time for them. We're going to see these first super minions start coming out of the map. So
what are we needing to see Sentinel do to kind of turn this game around?
Well, Sentinels definitely are taking the game to the face, but Air Drake, what do they got to do?
Air Drake definitely. Again, with the one sweeper on their team, they really need control of their own jungle. They're just walking around on black map right now.
That is true. Looking at the vision, Air Drake don't get to see too much. Sentinels get to see a lot of the top half of their jungle. So other than that, we do have some vision going on for, they just lit up their bottom side of their jungle a little bit, which is a good idea because we're expecting to see a lot of fighting going on in the bot side of the jungle between the bottom 2 lanes. We're going to see a lot of pushing going on there, letting the top lane kind of naturally push itself out there. The Mega Gnar walking through the lane, just smashing his hands through there, deciding, you know, I'm pushing this lane up, I'm taking this tower next. And we're going to see a little bit of the fights going on here. We'll see what vision they're able to grab for Blue Sentinel, and then we'll be able to see what they're able to do in Air Drake to stop them from pushing. Baron buff has expired, so there's no longer any difficulty with pushing the lanes out. Oh, but the fancy feet from Talia allow him to dodge the flay that came out of the Thresh walking into the bot lane. But the mid laner gets the kill on Icically at the same time. They pull the trigger in multiple locations at once. Taking the top tower. Looking to see if they can't take the bottom tower at the same time. They're putting pressure on from all sides. And without Icically to really put down the extra poke damage, it's really just going to be them pushing into it. Darth Ted knew that he had the damage on that Morgana. The immediate cleanse and flash from Shoemaker, showing that he's got the mechanics to prevent himself from dying, was excellent here. But it looks like the teleport coming in, the push coming in from Blue Sentinel, really pushing them out of their own base. The super minion's going to allow them to really tank it up. It's starting to look dire for Air Drake. I think this might be over.
Maybe be closing it out right here.
Yep, GG's getting thrown around.
Pushing it down, the GG's coming out. well played from both teams. That was brutal on both sides. 10 to 15 kills, up by 11,000 gold. Blue Sentinel takes it 2-0. Well, it looks like another team fresh out the box. This was their first week to play, and we'll be interested to see when their makeup games, if they're able to keep this level of intensity. But well played to them. What we're going to end up doing here is after we go to we'll see if we can't pull in a couple of them to talk a little bit about the games themselves and how they did. See if we can get a couple interviews in here. We're going to see who wants to chat about it from Blue Sentinel. And other than that, so what do you guys think? How did Blue Sentinel take this game out from Drake this time?
Honestly, it just felt like every lane was just doing so well. Even with Hot Soup coming in and getting these ganks, they were just out farming. They were managing the waves perfectly. They were setting up the vision where they wanted to go. They just had a very safe game.
Indeed. I think so Sonic, what do you think we saw from Drake? What were some of the problems that came up that they weren't able to capitalize that victory on?
Well, a lot of the influence on the map and just the way they were initiating fights was giving it kind of a difficult engage. I'm just still trying to process the game and figure out everything that was going on. There's so many big just battles that waged during this game. So I'm just at a loss at how to dive into any specific play there.
That is very true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a couple members from Team Blue Sentinel to talk a little bit about their victory and to see what their experience was. We're going to send it over to Shadow Volt and Rovian. I want to hear a little bit about how the mid lane turned out and a little bit of that top lane feel for it. So let's bring them in here and see how they're feeling. Welcome Shadow Volt and welcome Rovian. Congratulations on your victory.
Great game, guys.
How do you guys feel?
Thank you. Pretty good.
Yeah, it feels good.
Well, I don't actually think I played game 2, but feel pretty good after game 1.
So tell me a little bit about the top lane matchup there. You definitely fought into Maokai a couple times. How was the Camille and then how was the Gnar? What were the difference between the two games?
Oh, muted. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a tough matchup because Maokai actually has a fairly strong early game. I mean, I know I'm always going to win that late game, but I couldn't really bully him that strong until I had a little bit of items on Camille. But then after that, that's just there's nothing Maokai can do. You have to just go mid and engage, and they weren't able to because my team peeled well.
Definitely did a great job in that one. Robin, what did you think about those mid lane matchups? You guys had a very balanced matchup going on between you two, and the CS was close, and you had that Ahri. Is that a comfort pick for you?
No, yeah, Ahri is definitely a comfort pick. Right up there with Morgana, which got banned away in the first game, so that felt good.
And take it
that
away
might
in the
have been
second.
for you. No, yeah. No, yeah, Ahri's been a comfort pick for me for a while. I've been picking it in I picked it in Treeline for a lot last season, and so like I'm really comfortable on it. So I've been working on branching it out more. But
so in the game we just played there, in that second game, what do you think was the big moment that allowed you guys to really take that game over?
We just pressured the map well. Like we rotated really well, so we just were getting the objectives. It wasn't couldn't define any one specific moment.
Yeah, I would say right around 20 minutes when we got that team fight right before Dragon, where we killed 3 for 0, and then we immediately transitioned Baron.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
There was definitely a moment in that Baron call that we got very excited because that the Talia ultimate came in and we were expecting a really quick fight over the smite steal from the previous one. So other than that, I just want to say, congratulations to you guys. You played very well. Are you excited about your next games coming up? You anticipate just taking this energy and moving it forward to the next ones?
I feel like it's going to be a bit of a reset because we're going to have a new support, our old support back. So, and we hadn't really played yet. So I'm excited to see how far we can go. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, until we get the full team together, it's hard to really say.
Well, I can't wait. I know we're looking forward to Rice coming back to come back to a support position to really show the league what he's got for everyone here. Is there anything you guys want to say to all your adoring fans out there in the Rekt League?
Well, I would just say we really I think more top laners really need to look into picking Garen. I think Garen is a very strong champion right now,
Oh,
and
my God.
I really think more people should look into that.
Yeah,
Truer
shout out
words
to
have
Garen.
never been spoken.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, thank you all for the games today. Well played all around. What we're going to do is we're going to do a brief break on the cast. It's going to come right back at 6 o'clock for the next games. Don't go anywhere.
GG boys.